The problem with women is that many of them, A, have unrealistic expectations of the man that they want, a lot of them. I want a guy that's earning $1 million a year and he's 6'4", and I want him to have a perfect jaw. And I'm like, yeah, that's never going to happen. Like, why don't you want someone that's going to be loyal to you, not cheat on you? Like, oh yeah, I want that too. Oh, okay, got it.
What do you think is the biggest issue with modern dating? As a single guy, I would love some advice. Graham, he got married a year or so
Congratulations.
ago. So he's looking to start a family.
Have as many kids as you can afford. No, have
Probably
more than,
two.
Have more
Probably
than you
two.
can afford. That's what I should say.
I'll stick with two.
What is wrong with modern dating?
Yeah.
The biggest problem with modern dating is very interesting. We had a women's summit. The young ladies all raised their hands. They're like, how many of you are unhappy with the dating pool? Every woman raises their hand. Funny. All the young men I talked to are unhappy with you too. So who's wrong?
Those seem like kind of select groups of people though. Like if you're asking women that are attending a women's summit, they might be in a very specific situation.
Yeah, I mean, like I would say generally I hear more complaints about the dating pool than, wow, there's so many options. Yeah. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe
so I think it's more of an options issue. Is that you could go online and just if you don't like someone, instead of working through it, it's just you go back and you start swiping again.
What's the problem with women? And then I'll go to the problem with men. The problem with women is that many of them, A, have unrealistic expectations of the man that they want, a lot of them. And I deal with this all the time. Like, I want a guy that's earning $1 million a year and he's 6'4", and I want him to have a perfect jaw. And I'm like, yeah, that's never going to happen. How about, by the way, where on your list is like, I want someone who will be a good father or someone with good character. So that's like really disgusting, actually, that you just want someone that's like super rich and looks good. Like, why don't you want someone that's going to be loyal to you, not cheat on you? Like, oh yeah, I want that too. Oh, okay, got it. So basically you want like Ken Barbie doll, and then you'll have like all the good virtues. Notice they don't lead with the virtue. And a lot of things lead to that. But number two is women need to be very clear that we need to tell women more clearly that if you do not have children before the age of 30, there's only a 50% chance that you will have children. The most depressed people in America are women without children. People that say they are very unhappy are people, young single women in their early 30s without children. Who are the happiest women in America? Married women with children. I think that we've gone wrong here, that women should prioritize family and children way above career, that they should try to find their husband before they're 25. Having children, I believe, is a blessing from the Lord. It's the most amazing thing. You should try to have as many children as you can. Much more important than traveling to Thailand or having a big apartment or a bunch of cats. So young ladies, they need to be very clear about what they're expecting in a man and date with the intent to marry and not just date to, have a good time. And quite honestly, both need to do this, but young women need to do a much better job of saving themselves for marriage. They need to be they need to prioritize purity again. Young men need to too, but if young women do it, then young men will. Yes.
What do you think is the main thing men need to do to make themselves worthy?
The most attractive quality in a young man that young women can't ever articulate is self-control. A woman needs to be able to know that you can control your impulses when things get really crazy. So for example, they want to be able, when you go on a date, can you control your mouth? Can you control your tongue? Can you control your eye? Are you going to cheat on her? Are you going to have a wandering eye? Are you going to get drunk every night? Women can't always put that into words, but that differentiates a boy from a man. A boy is someone that has no self-control.
So I would argue it's confidence and ambition. And if you have those qualities, I think everything else falls into place, because you have to have self-control if you're going to be ambitious.
Sure.
To have a North Star that you follow.
I totally agree. Confidence is true. So you have to be able to control your flesh. We as men have very different problems than women, right? Different temptations. As men, we have problems controlling our flesh. That's why adultery is literally in the 10 Commandments. You had to command an entire people not to cheat on their wives. It was easy. God would not have to command us not to do it. And so when men are dating, if you want to make yourself more attractive to a woman, first of all, demonstrate self-control. And also, women want to be taken care of. I know this is super provocative, but deep down, they want a man to be able to provide for them.
Should a man pay on the first date?
100%. What kind of a wuss beta male is splitting the check? Who are you? I would go into debt and scrub dishes before a woman paid for it. We're talking about 24 years old, serious dating, right?
I split the check quite a lot.
So I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you. You guys are great. That's incomprehensible to me. I think that's...
To me, I thought it was a great financial decision.
So from your prism, I totally get that. And you have really good financial discipline. I'm sorry. I would be so humiliated I
did
find that to be
not
like
care.
the greatest beta male like humiliation.
To save money?
To like the idea that a woman that you're trying to court, by the way, that money you save is not worth the honor that you compromise.
In fairness, for your point with
Yes.
Macy, I paid for the whole first date.
Well,
and
hold
we're
on, why'd you
married
do
now.
that one though?
I think I was at that point. I was at a level where like that felt like the right choice to make. But throughout my early 20s,
Was it because
I
you
was
felt more
hyper-
serious with her or
I was also in a point where I was ready to be able to like,
financially?
yes,
Legit, I
Where
get that.
Early
Okay.
20s, like
I still think you should.
saving $5 here and there, I would do it. I would go
Okay,
to
so
great.
you're manic with saving money.
I am.
We have Blake on my team is like you. He goes and he'll eat like the snacks for lunch to save money. Frugality is a virtue.
Yeah.
So we as Christians believe that there is an order of virtues, and above frugality is honor. And so we as men must lead. We must provide. Under no circumstance ever should a man ever let a woman pay for a date, or you should
Ever?
split ever. No circumstance.
Even on the third, fourth, fifth.
What if it's the first
no,
date
a
and
woman
you're
should
just
never
not
pay
into
for
it?
anything.
Okay, well, let me.
Period.
Well, let me. Okay, so
what kind of world are we living in?
Well, I agree with you. If I'm dating a girl, I would pay for everything.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. However, I could see for other people that might be in a different financial position, you know, you pay for 10 dates and then she's like, you know what, I want to treat you.
Well,
I think that's so sweet,
that's totally different. No. What we're talking about is like, oh, we're gonna alternate. Like, well, once you're serious and she wants to take you out to something for a nice dinner, and you might, by the way, if you have the intent to marry, you're already like kind of blending finances. Like, I get that psychologically, but like if you're like, oh, we'll take turns. Like, oh, well, you know, you pay this time, I pay this time.
What's your advice to a girl who the guy she's currently seeing, he says that?
Oh, do not marry that man.
But here's the thing: I feel like they should always
break up.
offer.
Great.
But they should offer. They should pull out the credit card.
The woman? Of course not.
Just to offer.
No.
It's a nice gesture.
No. By the way, no. This is feminism. Feminism is that you have to be this like self-independent. This is not a nice gesture. It's you trying to be like egalitarian. No. You as women should want to be provided for. In fact, you should have an expectation that you as a woman are so important and so critical and so necessary and beautiful that it shouldn't even be a question that if you're in a date, now if it's a business lunch or like friend zone stuff, 50-50. We're not talking about that, right? Like it's all of a sudden you're like, hey, I want to buy insurance or like, you know, you're going to, you know, I want to go do business. It's totally different. I still think the man should pay, but that's that.
But see, to me, when I was dating, it would be a huge turnoff if the check comes and she just looks at it and then looks at me and looks at the check.
I totally disagree.
I at least want to see like I'm reaching for something and I'm like, don't worry.
I want a woman that wants to be led by a man. I don't want a woman that's all of a sudden going to be competing financially in a marriage. I don't want a woman that's going to be like, oh, you know, questioning financial decisions, or a woman that's going to be like, all of a sudden, no, the man is the leader of the household. The man is the leader of all the financial decisions. The man is the primary, should be the primary provider. Again, there's exception to this. That's all. Oh, Charlie, you're so sexist. Sorry, it worked for 2,000 years, for 5,000 years, and it should work again. And by the way, what we're doing right now is not working. Let me just repeat again. This is not working. But like this idea, if a woman on a date were to pull out a credit card to go pay for something, like I would be like, oh, so you're like one of those boss babes.
No, that's not what that's saying. Though.
100% it is. Yes,
that
it
is no, that is completely
such a
missing.
Catastrophic turnoff.
I think no. I think if I'm on a date and she reaches for it, like I just think, oh, that's really nice. You're trying to be kind here. You're trying to alleviate what you perceive to be a financial burden on me.
That's a generous interpretation.
And so,
but bringing
obviously,
something to the table.
Yeah, and so
like,
I think
hey, I'm not just
women
here for
are
a
not
free
bringing money
meal.
to the table. That they're bringing something else.
It's a nice gesture.
I agree with Graham. I think it's a nice gesture. However, I agree with you. I think the guy should pay.
I think the woman going into that should have an expectation that the man takes care of her.
But should she be grateful if the guy takes
100%.
Oh, okay. Because
it should be immense
expecting
gratitude. No. The woman should be. You know what she should say? She's like, "Thank you so much for doing that and not having to put this unnecessary pressure on me because you've just freed me." That's what women want, by the way.
Freed me?
100%.
I would say run.
No.
For like what? Number two at Red Robin?
Do you know how many women are secretly miserable that they have to be as financially successful as men? A lot. Like a lot. It drives them insane. Deep down, a lot of women want to be mothers. They want to be wives.
I tend to agree with that.
Like, we have overcorrected, okay? We have a lot of women that deep down want to go be moms. And they would love to have their man come in and just grab the check. Be like, no, I got it. And by the way, you know what they see that as a signal? It's going to be okay. when the bullets start firing and there's chaos and things start falling apart, this man is going to protect the family. Boom. Throw
Wallet on the table.
Wallet on the table. No, even better. No.
Paying 26% interest on that.
It's got to be even more alpha. You go to the waiter before the meal and you just give them the credit card. It's not even a conversation. It's paid for. It's done. Like, you don't even allow it to be a thing that is introduced there.
I would agree with that.
I agree with that
full
too.
Alpha is like, you go straight up where you are like smooth move and the girl is so stunned and she'll be like, oh, don't we have to pay? Like, no, I got it. It's done. Boom. Are you kidding? From a woman's perspective, they'll be like, that's the most attractive thing ever.
What other tips do you have like that? Like, that was a good suggestion.
Oh, I have a lot of tips. So for marriage or for dating? I have
both. Let's start with dating and then move our way to marriage.
So in dating, look, I do not think you should have sex before marriage. I know that's a provocative take. I think sex is holy. And by the way, it's not just a religious take. I actually think that if you introduce sex into dating, then all of a sudden there's kind of like a dilution of what exactly will be the ultimate physical crescendo of marriage. So you can actually make a rational, reasonable, non-religious argument for that. Anyway, that's like a whole other topic that we could discuss another time, but I will defend that. I actually think bring back purity, bring back saving yourself for marriage. Okay, but other things is this. You should go on a road trip with the person you're dating. It's very important. So you should find uncomfortable, high pressure travel situations that's not just like flying first class to Aruba, and you should try to be in places of discomfort intentionally with who you are dating, and you'll find out a lot with that person. Number 3, this is going to sound incredibly sexist. I don't care. If it is a woman that you want to get married to, and she says that she wants to be a traditional wife, see if she's actually up to it. Say, okay, treat me, cook me a meal. I'm not kidding.
No, I think that's
like mess.
No. But honestly, like, she says she wants to be a traditional wife. Like, and by the way, be like, does she enjoy it? No, this is important though. Like, and then ask her. No, I'm not even just, is she a good cook? Be like, did you enjoy doing that? Like, and she like, oh, I loved it. I loved getting the ingredients. I loved looking at the cookbook. I love the recipe. I love thinking about you when I was cooking the food. You're like, okay, this is going to be awesome, right? Or otherwise, she's like, it was a disaster. It was this. I'm like, okay, well, then we might have a little bit, And by the way, I'm not saying that every wife has to cook every meal for her husband, but honestly, a lot of women out there want to do that. A lot of women want to provide for their man in that way. They want to run the house. They want to shepherd the kids. Going into marriage, though, I'm a big believer in premarital counseling. I think that there are several questions that are not answered when most people go into marriage that should be answered. And I might freak you out with this because I don't know if you did this.
No, we did this.
Yeah, okay, great.
I looked at every divorce statistic and we did everything
Phenomenal.
we could to lessen the chances of a divorce.
So yeah, money is number 1, right? Who's going to handle the finances? Here's one that you might not have done that you should do while you're still in the honeymoon phase. Are you going to have an open or closed house?
I don't even know what that is.
See, it's big. So were you raised in a house where a lot of friends came over all the time? Or were you raised in a house where almost no friends came over?
A normal amount. It wasn't yet, open or closed. It was, maybe like once a week. We'd have like a play date or something like that.
Do you know what kind of house your wife was raised in?
Probably about the same.
Okay, it's an important question because I was raised in a very closed house, right? I know people that are raised in open houses and it's destroyed their marriages. You know the type where they're always having people over? Yeah.
That was my family, yeah.
Okay, so you get that.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were to marry a closed house person and all of a sudden you were like, hey, we're going to constantly have a stream of people and you don't talk about that before marriage. All of a sudden you're like, it's total chaos for a closed house person because they're raised in a place where evenings are very quiet. Make sure, this is another important, make sure that you get along with each other, that you really like each other, not just love each other, that you like spending time with that person. One of my favorite words in the English language is like. It's very unique. Only the English language actually has that. Do you like spending time or do you just love that person? That's because liking is like, hey, can you talk to that person 7 hours uninterrupted on a park bench if you needed to? Or is it just kind of like an annoyance and is it just purely physical? Other questions and other pieces of advice that I think are really important. In-laws matter. They really do. They shouldn't always necessarily be deal breakers, but boy, you should know the in-laws because, your wife will take the form of the mother more times than not. So you should at least get along with your in-law, kind of know the in-law. Children, how many children? When are you going to have children? Is it a priority? Will it be early? Will it be late? Religious questions. Are we going to raise them religiously? Are we going to raise them secular? Other questions that I think are really important that actually don't always get flushed out. How many vacations are we going to take? What type of vacations? Are we an RV family? Are we go to a private, island family? Are we going to splurge on one vacation a year? Or are we going to do like 3 or 4? This is important before you get married. Last one, which is the biggest. You want the biggest of all. what are acceptable and unacceptable vices for our marriage. For example, is it acceptable for, the husband to smoke a cigar? Will marijuana be allowed in the marriage? I would say no, of course. Is it okay for alcohol to be around? If yes, how often? Will you drink on weeknights? Are more than one drink acceptable? Will we drink socially? Will you drink once you have kids? Will you drink around the kids? Here's another question. Will you watch TV at night? Will you be okay if, there's R-rated kind of sexual nudity that your partner is watching? Is completely off limits for your relationship? I think it absolutely should be. You should talk about that because some couples are like perfectly okay with it. I think it's kind of weird, to be honest, right? These are questions that honestly, all the time that people do not always flesh out before marriage. We have an amazing marriage. My wife and I, obviously it's not perfect. No marriage is perfect, but we actually like each other. We prioritize date night. We're actually doing it right after this tonight, which is awesome. But I find so often that people in dating don't date with the intent to marry. And when they end up wanting to marry, they don't even ask the tough questions before they get married.
Do you think you could win in a fist fight against Gavin Newsom?
Probably not. If I'm being honest, I don't think so.